In this video, we're going to review how batch delivery jobs work and how you can take advantage of some additional features 7sense has to offer. In a subsequent video, we discussed how to set up a batch campaign using 7sense and HubSpot. Once a campaign has been scheduled, you can glean insights on the distribution of the delivery and also take additional actions that you might find beneficial. Let's first talk about how the system communicates with HubSpot in order to initiate a delivery. In the distribution graph, you can see how many people will be delivered their emails within a given hour during the delivery window. In this example, on Saturday at 2 p.m., 3 people will be delivered their email. Saturday at 3 p.m., 3 people. Saturday at 5 p.m., 3 people. Saturday at 7 p.m., 4 people. And this is my distribution over the next 7 days. I can also zoom in if I want to look at some specific data around a specific day, and also zoom out. Ultimately, when an individual's scheduled delivery time arrives, the system will package up all the individuals that have their predicted time of delivery at that time and automatically enroll them into the workflow, and they'll subsequently be sent their email. One thing to point out here is predicted and random scheduled. Let's first look at predicted scheduled. What this means is that you have data or a profile on these individuals, and the system was able to predict a time of delivery for them. Now, let's look at random scheduled. These are people that you have no data on, and the system has no idea what to do with them. In essence, they've never opened or clicked an email that you've sent them. Therefore, it randomly selects a time of delivery. Now, it doesn't completely select a random time within the delivery window. It will actually weight the hours the randomization algorithm can pick based on the success you've had with your entire audience, which is also why you can see gaps over here. This is extremely powerful for the long-term success of your email program because it will keep randomly selecting a time until an individual engages, and from that point forward, it will continue to learn about that person. In short, we took Einstein's advice around insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again. If Sarah typically engages in her inbox at 9 p.m., but you're always sending her emails at 9 a.m., the probability that she'll even see it, let alone engage with it, drops significantly. We'll go through the other charts in a minute, but let's get into a few hypothetical situations that never ever happen. When you blast an email, it goes to everyone at once, which can have a number of downstream negative effects. For example, maybe you sent the wrong email or to the wrong list, or forgot to add that suppression list of your competitors. Or maybe there are broken elements in the email, such as broken links or CTAs, broken images, or maybe it's not rendering correctly on mobile devices. Or there's the elusive misspelling in the subject line. Or the landing page has broken elements. Or in some cases, a system outage occurs, like your registration system going down shortly after blasting your email and doesn't come back online for hours. Or your CTA has something to the effect of chat live with a specialist or call a specialist, and your staff gets inundated with chat sessions or phone calls. Or let's say you're offering a promotional item and you run out of stock. Ultimately, all of these lead to a poor customer experience or frustration, tarnish your brand, or worse, cause loss of revenue. In our experience, these are all real-life examples of what can and has happened when using the blast approach. An advantage you gain with 7sense is that due to the way emails are delivered, it naturally throttles emails so they aren't all delivered at once. Now let's say you find yourself in a situation when one of the previously mentioned issues occurs. You can simply come up here and pause the job from delivering and fix the broken components of the email or landing page, or wait until the registration system is back online, or wait until demand on your specialist comes to a dull roar, or even change the promotional item. Once this is complete, you can simply resume the job and it will pick back up and be on its way. You can even do things like dynamically change subject lines in the middle of a delivery job. The possibilities are really endless. More or less, it relieves the stress and anxiety of sending to everyone at once and becomes an email insurance policy which cannot only be customer saving, but save you the heartache and embarrassment of having to send the oops email, which leads to poor engagement, which can ultimately lead to poor inboxing, heightened unsubscribes, or spam complaints. Now back to the other charts. The delivery status chart will update as delivery is complete. And in this example, you can see that everyone is still in the 100% scheduled state. The audience distribution chart gives you some quick insight into how many people on the list have predicted delivery times and how many have random delivery times. Finally, the active audience chart gives you insight into how many people will fall into each activity segment. This is where you can glean some additional insight on how to treat this mailing. In this example, when we scheduled the mailing, we did not suppress any of the activity segments. We should all strive for high engagement rates, but sometimes that's not possible when we get direction from leadership that don't fully understand why this is so important for the long-term success of an email program. If we're more concerned with the quantity of people we're sending to versus the quality of engagement, this can eventually lead to our inability to hit the people's inboxes that want to hear from us and instead will be relegated to their spam folder. This is where dynamic suppress and unsuppress come into action. For example, let's say we're sending an invitation to join an event such as a webinar or an on-site luncheon, and we've included everyone in a particular list. But then we notice that our engagement rates are far below average, and we're concerned this will be a strike against us with our domain reputation. At any point in the delivery window, so let's say it's Tuesday at 9 a.m. and all of these people have already gotten their emails, I can simply go in and dynamically suppress my inactive and passive audience who are the biggest contributors to the low engagement rates. And the way that I do that is by simply just clicking the suppress inactive and suppress passive. We've found that about 80 to 90% of engagement actually comes from the audience that are in the active or evaluating segments. Or let's say that we had gotten into the habit of suppressing our inactive and passive audience because we've historically tested these segments of our audience and know that their engagement rates are horrible. We're now about halfway through the delivery job, and we are nowhere close to reaching the goal of webinar or event attendees. We can then go into the job and dynamically unsuppress these segments, and the job will pick up anyone who is historically scheduled and for anyone scheduled in the future. It will still follow their scheduled delivery times. So in essence, the system catches up and then follows the normal process of delivering emails. Or maybe we had suppressed the inactive and passive segments and are finding a promotion or email that is performing incredibly well and is really resonating with our audience. We could simply go in and unsuppress these segments. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, let's say we want to run some type of re-engagement campaign and don't have a plan on how to find who we should send the email to. We can simply suppress the active and evaluating segments from the mailing without having to perform a bunch of segmentation in HubSpot. Again, here the possibilities are really endless. In the world of email, it's all about being human, authentic, and ensuring your engagement is high with your audience to have long-term success. We hope these tools make you a better marketer, and in subsequent videos, we'll cover additional aspects of the system.